Welcome to Toffee TV. It's any other business coming at you like Deli Ali's lad.
More about that later.
Oh, it's the best show of the week. It's just where we get to talk about shite. Good news, Baz.
What's the good news?
No one threw up on me this week.
Woo! A sick free week. Sick free
It's
week.
always good when there's not hot liquid getting put on you. Just saying.
I'm just picturing that. Don't.
Let's get into it. This story, this one's not like a funny story as such, but I noticed this week that the story of Natalie Wood is being, the investigation is being, not reopened, it's been open for a while, but it seems like it's hotting up. If anyone doesn't know, Natalie Wood was a very famous Hollywood actress,
Miracle on 50. Miracle on 50.
34th Street.
34th Street.
Yeah.
The original, that was Natalie Wood.
Well,
as
yeah,
a kid,
very famous actress, and she died in 1981.
81,
She
yeah.
fell off a boat. She was with Robert Wagner,
Heart to Heart
fame, and also Austin Powers movies.
He was, yeah.
He was number 2. I know this isn't massively relevant for the dude, but saying that our age demographic, I think they'll know who this is. She fell off a boat, and it was initially ruled accidental, but a lot of people at the time questioned it, and it looks like now Robert Wagner's 87. He's declined to speak to the police since the case was reopened in 2011. They've labelled circumstances surrounding the death was labelled as suspicious by the sheriff's department, and after new witnesses came forward last week. How does it take 30 years to? I mean, I can understand why this happens. Listen, we always see cases and they'll go, any new information, and I imagine for years and years people either bury the truth or don't want the truth to come out, or are scared of the implications, and maybe someone dies or someone becomes less powerful, and then those people feel like it's right to come forward. There's a new documentary titled 48 Hours, and it offered a behind the headlines look at her death. According to the testimony of the boat captain, Dennis Davron, Wagner smashed a wine bottle and asked Christopher Walken, who was also on the boat, if he wanted to fuck my wife, screaming for him to get off my fucking boat. Wagner's admitted having argued with Walken and said that Wood had gone to bed early, and then during the time period that she slipped and fell off the boat. According to the testimony, Wood was afraid that Wagner might kill her. Wood's sister Lana has also testified Wood had feared for her life before the incident. So it's a very strange tale. Natalie would have just been in a film with Christopher Walken as well, so maybe there was something in that. But just a very strange tale, and just very strange that after all this time, 37 years, they might be coming to some kind of conclusion, and maybe, I mean, let's be honest, they're never going to get a full conclusion, because like in a lot of things, the only two people who will know what happened that night were Natalie Wood and maybe Robert Wagner. But it's just a very strange one, isn't it? Because I just think now, if it's to happen now, let's just say if it happened now, it would be, I'm just trying to think of a Hollywood couple who are still together. Maybe Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie before they broke up. It might have been a little bit like them. That's how big they were as a couple. Because Robert Wagner was in everything in the 70s. Wasn't he in Tower and Inferno?
Yeah, I think he was.
I love the disaster films of the 70s. They're absolutely amazing. But it just shows you, doesn't it? It's another... I don't think...
But that's another reason why people wouldn't have spoken out, because he was powerful. And
that's what I'm saying. After what we've seen in the last few weeks and what we've heard, and we'll talk about another story in a little bit, which again has some similar consequences, not quite the same consequences, but similar feel to it. It just shows you that, again, certain men having a grip over individuals, and can not just make or break their careers, but can just keep people quiet through their influence.
Power, isn't it? It's power, and at that time, like you just said, he was, you know, in everything. So he was everywhere, and it's how you bring
murder.
It's how
Quite literally.
It's how you bring those people down. People are very scared to do it because it's who's going to believe you, who's going to listen to you. People are going to naturally go with the famous persons, you know, so to speak. It's
not just that though as well, isn't it? It's who else you can control, because at the end of the day, news isn't news if the camera's pointing the other way. And if you can, you know, if you've got enough influence, like let's just say if you're a TV, if you're a I'm trying to think of the right words. If you're a film company, a studio, right, and you own, say you're Fox, right? So you've got Fox Studio, 21st Century Fox, which, by the way, might not be getting sold to Disney. After all, it might not be the Monopolies Commission in America might be allowing someone else to buy it, but that's a different story for a different time. So if you've got a studio and you've also got a news channel, and you get someone at the phone goes, listen, we've got a 10-picture deal with Robert Wagner. We've got lots of money. He's a guaranteed name. He's a guaranteed star. He makes money. Can you drop this as a news story, please? We don't need this. This company doesn't need this. Our shareholders don't need this. Can you just stop investigating that? And listen, for me, that's a huge thing that's happening in this day and age. But I'm sure it's always happened at some point.
Look at the Harvey Weinstein thing. Look at to a lesser thing, but no less serious. Look at Jimmy Savile here.
Yeah.
Because he was powerful at that time.
Well, I'd actually say Jimmy Savile was worse.
No, well, of course he's worse, but I'm saying, I meant lesser.
Yeah, no.
What I meant was, as actually a star.
Yeah.
Robert Wagner was mad. Jimmy Savile wasn't a star, but he was very well known.
He was a big star in this country.
Yeah, but the stuff that...
Apologies. Okay.
The stuff that he was allowed to get away with because of who he was, and people didn't think they could touch him, and he was, you know, on top of the pops, famously had his hand in girls' knickers and stuff, and he couldn't move, and all of that, and they let people let it go, you know, that Harvey Weinstein, you know, Weinstein, all the stuff that's happened with him, and it's coming out and you're going, this, I've seen something with...
Well, the story this week, we might as well touch on it now. The story this week about Harvey Weinstein is Uma Thurman, who's been, I think we spoke about it a couple of months ago, when I told you about the interview she did, and she was so angry.
Yeah,
she couldn't speak about it. Well, she started to speak about stuff now, and one of the things she mentioned only in the last day or two is that during the filming of Kill Bill, she was involved in a car accident, and there's a video of the car. There's an actual video of the car accident, and the first thing they did when they ran over to is check her pulse. So that tells you how bad it was. She was driving, she hit a tree, she smashed her head, and apparently she was very, very disoriented and very woozy, and it's been kept quiet for years. And
why?
Because probably insurance and things like that, and it probably goes against a lot of things, let's be honest, but it got kept quiet, got swept under the rug. There's been a lot of talk of Quentin Tarantino, who, if anyone's watched that film, that was Uma Thurman and Quentin Tarantino come up with that film together. It actually says at the end Q and U production or something like that, and it was their brainchild, and there's a lot of things towards him now saying and going, you must have known what was going on, and now they're saying, well, hang on, how come you've had this tape? Surely you knew. And he was like, well, I did know, but I didn't know, if you know what I mean. I knew it happened, obviously, but he's basically saying, well, the reason I basically got told, no, it's fine, we'll just carry on, and she's fine with that. But it seems like it might have been a little bit of a darker thing. Why it didn't come out? But that again shows you there's the power. There's a tape. It's happened. The media's instinct, if they could get hold of a story like that, would be to report it. You know, imagine now Uma Thurman escapes death on the set of Quentin Tarantino's latest movie. Imagine, I mean, you know, imagine that on, you know, Kill Bill was a highly anticipated film as well, so it would have been a huge story. But it was suppressed, and again, it shows you the power that these people have to suppress stories. You know, you've got one story on one hand where a very famous actress dies, and on the other hand, you've got a very famous actress in a near death situation, or a situation that could have got out of hand very quickly.
Covered up, yeah.
But it's essentially just covered up.
That's it though, because it's the power, isn't it? And if it's going against that power, isn't it? How do you do it if it's happening to you?
Let me
look at the thing with Stallone. He was like, you know, that girl come out and said she was raped by him and his bodyguard, and it's just everywhere you look. It's
I do find some of it is, not saying some of it's getting out of hand. It just needs to be. I'm not going to use the word control because that's the wrong word. I just think there needs to be. I think there's an incident at the moment with James Franco, right, where James Franco's being, someone's accused him of doing something, and they reckon he didn't get the nomination for Best Actor at the Oscars because the Oscars just don't want that. They don't need that. Right? Now, but there's no proof that he did that. There's no proof that he did that. Same with the story. Did I say about the story about the wrestler a couple of weeks ago? One of the wrestlers in WWE got the sack.
Yeah, he told me.
Because he was accused by a girl. There's no evidence, but the WWE don't want anything to do with it, right? And it's the same with this. People are now throwing the accusations out. There's no proof. Now, again, it's a situation where it's my word versus theirs, but there's no proof, and people's careers are on the line because of that. And I think that these stories can run away with themselves, but by running away from themselves, water down the stories that actually are the proper stories. And that's always the problem with these things. We're seeing at the moment in this country. I know this is getting a little bit more serious than what we normally talk, but I think it's important. We're seeing all these rape cases getting thrown out because the police were fucking about with the evidence because they were so desperate to get the people that had done it that they've tampered with the evidence, and that's leading to, yes, of course, people who were not guilty getting their lives back, but that means that people who fucking did do it are walking away with it. So it doesn't really help. Just to follow on from this, again, haven't spoken about it. What do you think about the grid girls situation?
In terms of swapping them out for kids,
which just seems weird,
which is utterly bizarre.
Yeah.
A nonsense heaven, I should imagine. But do you want me to talk about the nonsense?
Everyone.
It is, isn't it? Or
talk about anything
the girl, about the girls. The girl situation is.
Well, it started with the darts, right?
The darts, they said they're not going to have them now, haven't they?
Yeah.
The boxing still are.
Well, they will.
Boxing is still having. I think it's like if I don't know whether we were just talking about this. We had Sarah Halpin in last week. And we were talking to obviously a lady, so you're speaking about it with that as well. And I've spoken to my missus about this, and it's if the girls, those girls are fully in control, then that is fine. If those girls are going, you know what, I'm gonna have a short skirt on, or I'm gonna wear a bikini. Well, whatever.
Not all of them do.
No, they don't. No, they've seen like different things. I've seen on Twitter actual grid girls putting pictures in little dresses, going, "I'm the one in control, my body, and I love doing it, and you're stopping me earning my living. My body is my tool, if you like." Whatever. So as long as those girls are never doing it forced, and never put in situations like you saw the other week with, you know, the £100,000 ticket and all that for the president and giving it all the out, then that's, to me, that's fine. But it's obviously personal.
The situation has gone tits up, and this is what we've just been talking about, with the situation getting so out of hand that it's actually affecting not the victims but the people who are in control of the situation. Right. What the darts have said and what Formula 1 is saying is that obviously these things are not acceptable anymore. Why? Who said these things weren't acceptable anymore, right? We live in a world where, it's funny because we're talking about on the day, it's 100 years since women got the vote, right? So we're talking about women having power, right? Which is, listen, fucking hell, I'm all for that. I think you'd solve half of the world's problems if women earned the same amount of men, therefore had the top jobs, therefore you wouldn't get all this shit, right? And we'd make better decisions because they'd be thinking, although the two fucking prime ministers we've had who were female are utter twats, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But they come from, I think women make decisions more from well, not all of them, because I'll probably offend people by saying this, but I think they make more reasons decisions, because they make them some of the decisions with a hint of compassion as well attached to them, not only just thinking in terms of one thing. They'll think of different things. That's not all women and that's not all men, but I think, and that's but ultimately that's why it's not equal, because we don't get those choices, because it's just men just seem to rule the world. This has just been spun on its head. No one said that they didn't want women gig girls. No one said they didn't want girls at the darts. They've just they just thought that because that's what the current climate is. But they've misread the current climate. The current climate isn't women are being, you know, abused in terms of everything. It's in these particular elements. What is the end game here? Because does this mean that now we're going to get that women can't be models? Because ultimately, aren't they doing the same? Aren't women just essentially grid girls in, you know, of dressmakers? Aren't they just advertising the dress by using their body? Isn't that the same as what a grid girl does, or what a girl does in the boxing ring? You know, if it's round 2. Oh, I'm wearing my trackie for this. You know, surely by wearing whatever they're wearing, something nice, it's like, oh look, you know, and that's ultimately, that's what the person wants when they come in, and that girl feels comfortable with that. The grid girls in Formula 1, some of them wear, like, when it's like in the Dubai, they wear like the Emirates uniforms, look dead classy. Some of them, they're never out there looking like fucking, it's not Dukes of Hazzard. They're not wearing short shorts and like bikini tops. They always look respectful. It's there. They can. Like you said,
if they wanted to,
exactly, it's their life.
Yeah, but if they wanted to, they should be allowed to.
Exactly. But so it's their life. They're not. It's not like if a kid walked in the room, I go, oh, you can't watch this. Those grid girls. Oh, you know, they're not. Number one, look what they've got on, and they're not an example for you. But why aren't they an example? You know, there's a load of girls now making money through like Instagram by putting pictures of themselves wearing this and wearing that, and you know, they're models, but they get big because of the Instagram accounts or their Twitter accounts or whatever it is. I'm not saying they're manipulating people, but they're using their bodies and the way they look to make money. That's their talent. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's their talent.
If you're a girl and you want to take your clothes off and use what you've got, and men are loving it and going, I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna do whatever because I like looking at your body naked or with underwear or with a dress on or whatever. That's up to them. That's what they've got. Exactly. That's their skill.
And it's not just a skill. It's not. You can't just say their skill is, well, they look pretty. It's how they manipulate men, right? By looking at their body. You know, if it was just a woman, like if it was just a dead fit woman wearing like a sack, you just go, just a dead nice woman wearing a sack, you wouldn't pay any attention. But it's the way they manipulate people, and it's the same with, it's not just about the way they look, it's where, it was just about the way they looked, every nice looking person could make money, but it's not, it's the something else, isn't it? There's a charm behind it. It's like a lot of famous actors. You'll get a lot of good looking men who are actors, and then but you'll get the extra ones who are like, because there's something about them, there's a charm to them. We don't go, oh my god, look at Hugh Jackman, he's amazing, what amazing. You watch him on telly and you go, well, yeah, he's a good looking man, he's ripped to fuck, but there's also something about him that you go, he's got that charm. Like someone like Channing Tatum I find really funny. The Rock, he's built like a brick shithouse, but people don't give him jobs because he looks like a brick shithouse. Because you get anyone who looks like a brick, you give him because actually you see him on camera and he's dead interesting and he's charming. And the women do the same thing for me, I think. And when I was growing up, you had the era of the supermodels, like the proper supermodels, and they were like the best thing in the world. Women loved them, men loved them. You know, we had the whole like Wonder Bra thing, and it was Spice Girls, you know, girl power, all this stuff, and it comes from the same place. And I just think what you're actually doing is diluting that thing by, you know, let's just take Spice Girls, because again they're having a reunion. Spice Girls come together, and there was one for everyone, wasn't there? If you were a lad, there was one for everyone. It was like almost like I don't like hair, sporty. But I might like hair, baby. Or whatever, you know what I mean? There's one for everybody. But what ends up happening is they get famous. And then they go on to do other things, like they become like fucking, I don't know, UN ambassadors. Do you know what I mean? Or raise loads of money for charities, or highlight charities. They went and spoke to Nelson Mandela and all those things. That came from the initial thing of.
So everyone's looking for the break, aren't they? It's. I just think we are going
too far.
But the great girl I saw on Twitter, someone had retweeted it. I put a picture of her in a dress, and then a picture of someone in the burqa.
Oh.
No, but she'd said, but I'm getting told that, you know, we should be allowed to make whatever choice we want to. So if a woman in the burqa wants to wear it, that's fine. Don't tell me I can't wear this.
That's fine, but I don't like that spun though, because I've seen a few right-wing knobheads spinning and going, this is what we'll all end up wearing.
No, she wasn't saying that. She was saying it's about choice.
It is about choice.
If a woman wants to wear that, she can wear it. If a woman wants to wear a little dress, she can wear it. No one should tell you what to wear, and you should be. We're getting into a situation where we're stopping people doing.
But isn't that just it's belittling women by saying you haven't got the brain to understand this. And I think that's just another form of what we've been going through. It's men making decisions to suppress women's individuality. Whether they think at home there's someone watching who doesn't like that, well, you know what? Let them turn it.
The worst thing about it is those fellas who are making them decisions, they'll be the seediest bastards.
I know, but that's the thing, and they're almost covering their own track. You know what I mean? Listen,
allegedly.
I've watched wrestling for years, right? And to be honest, Vince is a fucking cunt. Vince McMahon, right? He is actually a fucking one of the most like proper like capitalist fucking knobheads ever. But also though, he's also quite empowering as well. As much as I don't like his politics and stuff like that, he's actually a very empowering man, because he's had women in for years, and now the women's part of the wrestling is the big thing now.
Nice.
The men's is a bit shit and a bit dull, and we've seen it all before, but the women's thing's becoming very, very good, and he's almost empowered these women, because he's got it. Basically, he's allowed.
Guerrero still knocking about.
She came back for the Royal Rumble 2 weeks ago. So did Lita though, so that was alright.
Where's Kelly go?
She was back, and Trish Trish was back, and Kelly and Lita. It was
Kelly still look fit.
And Tori Wilson.
Kelly. Oh.
Who I got told off for by putting Tori Wilson and the Wolf of Wall Street.
The hand.
I got told off for that.
Your missus grab you for that one?
I got told off.
I got told off for throwing.
She doesn't go.
I got told off for throwing kids behind me when Kelly was at the
Good job she doesn't go on my Instagram. But they're really empowered. He's let his daughter take control, and they're really empowered. And it's almost like he lets the women and the audience have control of what, because obviously wrestling is all about whether you live and die by your audience reaction. You don't, if the others don't like you, then you're gone. And he's allowed them, and I just think there's not enough of that in the world, even though he's a fucking right-wing gobshite. There's not enough of that in the world where we're making decisions based on outrage of things where, you know, if we were, let's all get outraged about the right things, not the wrong things. We get outraged far too easily by things that just don't matter, or are like, there's things that we should be outraged that have lasted for years and years and years and years, but yet we get outraged for things that are 5-minute fucking bubbles. And I think that's the major.
People are more outraged about great girls than they are about fucking food banks.
Exactly.
And we
make a big thing about it and go, oh, it's, you know, they're going, oh, it's terrible women, and like, and you go, hang on, there's a girl there who, you know, is a great girl. She'll, you know, from that you might get something else. From that you might get something else. From that you might get something. Someone like Carly Baker, who she was in all the adverts for. What was she in? She was with the Scouse lad who does the impressions.
Oh yeah.
So she.
Coral,
yeah. So she's like a UFC ring girl.
Yeah.
She does that. She does other things. She's a model, and she probably does other things though, and she'll probably get a gig on telly by doing it, and then she might become the face of some charity or something, and that's you know what I mean. That's how it works.
But it shouldn't be cutting anyone's opportunity.
You should. Well, listen. As long as they're not hating anybody, as long as they're not.
They're not the ones.
Well, they're not being hurt, and there's no manipulation. Then then it's up to them. You know, what the fucking hell.
Let's burn our bras next
week. We live in a world where the porn industry literally. You know, it's huge.
Go and have a look at how many hits a minute compared to anything else. It's like ridiculous, and that's just from me and you.
No, not me. I'm too busy. I've got too many things to watch. The thing I'm watching at the moment, which is absolutely amazing, is Hunting Hitler. Oh my god, it's amazing! It's absolutely amazing. Basically,
this isn't even on the board.
I know, but this is what we do. This is what we they should just be suggested topics. Hunting Hitler's amazing. I'll go through very quickly. Basically, 2015, load of files were declassified by the FBI. So, History Channel got all these like people together. Like, one's an ex-FBI, one's ex-CIA, one's like special forces, one's a guy who like hid people for years, ones who hunted people for years.
Hid them?
Like, you know, if
just
you
like put like a lamp.
No, if you had a glass
over them.
No, if you had a glass. One who went after people, history buffs, investigated, and they spent a shitload of money on this, by the way, which means you know it's good. And they basically trying to track down Hitler, because basically these FBI papers basically say he got off.
He got off, yeah.
And what they basically say is, as well, the reason why it's such a popular thing to believe is because that he died is because that's what people want. Because let's be honest, right? If they hadn't got Bin Laden, or they hadn't got, it would have been very easy to go, oh, he died. That's the story. He died. No, we didn't catch him. We couldn't catch him. We threw millions of dollars at it, and we couldn't catch him. What would you rather have if you were government? And it's the same with Hitler. Hitler killed 6 million people. He died. He didn't go live for years, dead, having a boss life in Argentina. Oh no! He wasn't living the life of Riley over there with his Greek girls. He was you know,
like Greek kids. Hitler.
So
fucking nonce. He would have.
He was actually a bit of a nonce, and it was his niece, and in the end she killed herself because it's a different story for a different time. So they're like going after him. But don't get me wrong, right?
I just love the fact that you kind of went, you don't give a shit normally about offending anyone, but Hitler.
But maybe it's this program. This program's rubbing off on me because loads of people are dead scared in it. Oh, okay. Especially in Argentina, they're either scared or they're embarrassed. But it has loads of like. It's like, have you ever done like try to do a family tree, like one of those website, and it's like,
website,
80% possibility that this person's related to you, so then you go to the next one, and if you do that, if it's not 100%, obviously every branch is dependent on whether that original one was real, and there's a lot of that in it, like this could be linked to this, and this wall could have been a tunnel, and there's a bit of that in it, but there's a lot of like facts in it, and there's a lot of like, they go to Argentina and they find this house, and there's no way of getting to this house apart from a boat and a beach. It's that isolated, but it's a huge house. And they're putting like they find like things under the floor, like you can't get into a lot of them because they're not even allowed to be like this. They've got like secret cameras, and this like fella's it's boss. And they've got like and they're going through all the plans, and they're putting drones over the top of them, and people are telling them to fuck off.
How did he get to Argentina?
How did he get there? U-boat. Well, there's different thoughts, and I'm on the 3rd series, and they don't know whether he went out of. Oh, it's got 3 series, my friend. Because there's files and files and files. They don't know whether after the war, there was a lot of... See, this is what it's doing. It's showing all the different ways that he could have got out. But it's not just going, he could have got out. This is what the FBI had researched in the first place. All these leads had already been researched. And now they're going through them with like a 21st century eye with new technology. So there's loads of like, in Spain, even though Spain was neutral, it had Franco, who was a cunt. Not James Franco. Franco. And he was very sympathetic. And they reckon that... he could have got out, and there was a lot of like, there was places like, I think there was like Cadiz that he could have got out. In this current series, they're in Norway, because Norway was a big Nazi gaff. That's what it was called, big Nazi gaff. And they're saying there's places in Norway could have got out. They're just basically what they're doing is they're following the leads that were in the files and investigating to see if there's any truth in them, and a lot of them do, but again, there's no definitive proof, because obviously there's no smoking gun at the end of it. We don't know for a fact. I mean, there's people saying he was there and here and everywhere, so there's a lot of like, so it's really interesting though, because actually what it shows is that Hitler probably did not die in that bunker, and where he went from there we don't know. But it's not just the Hitler part of it, it's just that it's very fascinating to see what happened after the Second World War, whereas we sort of go, Second World War finished, and it was all good, but yet it wasn't. It was like those Nazis, like the proper horrible ones, all had to escape. And no, because obviously you've got your normal soldiers who are just German people who think they're fighting for Germany, and then you've got like SS officers who were fucking horrible, and like the top brass, and it just shows you how they escaped and how they would have escaped, but like loads of boss stuff like secret houses and secret tunnels, and Berlin, all these secret tunnels under the ground, and how they were all linked up, and they go into a lake in Norway and went into this lake and found all these medals that obviously they'd all just lashed, so just got rid of the uniforms. Like, yeah, hello, I am not German. But he, you know, just they blended into the, you know, into real life afterwards. And obviously Israel went after loads of them, didn't they, and caught loads of them in Argentina and Brazil and so, because down there it was very sympathetic. But what they were saying was actually in this is that afterwards they think that they went up, this is the big thing, they went away to actually try and regroup, to start again. But because nuclear technology was available then, they were like, if Hitler could get his hands on and there's evidence in it that he was trying to get a nuclear bomb himself, that if Hitler could have got a nuclear bomb, he wouldn't have needed all these people. And also all these countries like Argentina, they were very sympathetic, and all that like Nazi chapters in them already, because a lot of them already believed that Hitler was going to take over, so they were already starting to prepare. And they had like German schools, and all the German communities all over the world were already preparing for it, so there was a lot of sympathy in these areas, and obviously that's why he fled there. So really interesting, a very good program. Hitler.
Hunting Hitler, you absolutely love anything like hunting Hitler. Nazi
gold, mate. It's all about Nazi.
You are obsessed with Nazi gold. I'm watching The Crown at the moment.
Shite. Well, some of Nazis.
Well, it's not shite, but I think it's not. It's good actually. It's not. It's rare. No, what's mad? It's really not my thing. It's not the kind of thing I would watch. But my missus wanted to watch it, so I said I'd watch it. But it's interesting because I'm anything but a royal. I don't give it. I honestly, I've got mates who despise them. And I know people who like them. I'm riding them. I don't care. They don't affect my life in a way that I worry either way about them. Do you know what I mean? They're just there. But it is quite interesting to see how she became the queen. How it all
at that
kick. Oh no! But how it all at
the end.
And how she wasn't prepared for it. She didn't want to do it. She actually didn't want to do it. She got married to have a family. But it's mad thinking it was then. It was like 52, and she's still the queen now. And it's berserk and all the stuff that what it shows you is that she's the queen. But like we've said with other people, the presidents and all that, actually they're not the queen of anything, not the president of anything. They just get told what to do by all the undercurrents. They just go, this is what happened.
Well, that's what happened after.
Because Churchill's very prominent in it.
He's a cunt.
You know.
No, he is actually a cunt.
Bad,
he's a cunt, Churchill. I know a lot of people have this perception of him, but actually, if you dig under the surface, Churchill was an absolute horrible man. But to be fair, that's why they wanted him in charge in the Second World War, because he was prepared to do things that Chamberlain wouldn't do. Chamberlain wanted to fucking suck up to Hitler, like we've just been saying. He almost prepared, like, you know, like in The Simpsons, you got Kent Brockner going, we prepare for our alien overlords, that kind of thing. Chamberlain was like, these are coming, like it or not, we better be on the good side. Whereas Churchill was like, we'll fucking fight this guy. Don't forget, Churchill sent gunboats to the Mersey because people were on strike in Liverpool. He was prepared to fucking kill people that were on strike. He was a horrible bastard, but it took a horrible bastard to fight an even worse bastard. So, you know, but I think
in that though, it really is, because in that there was a warning in 1950, might have been 52, there was smog in London, killed 12,000 people, fucking smog, mate, and he had the thing, and he was telling them to carry on burning coal regardless,
because it didn't matter.
Well, what it was to show that the economy was booming. Everyone could still burn, and he was saying, well, It's getting slapped.
What does that sound like?
That's what
clean coal.
It's fucking
absolutely. Let's be honest, it didn't really change till Diana died, did it? Because she was when Diana died, the Queen was told, carry on regardless. She's not actually a royal member of the royal family anymore. You don't need to do nothing. And they kept on telling and kept on telling and kept on telling till the people actually beat down the door, literally beat down, well, nearly beat down the doors of the saying, where are you? People were on TV saying, where are you? Your people are suffering, where are you? Because they misunderstood the affections for Diana, and actually that's where it all changed, because suddenly they had to become sympathetic. They had to start looking after the people again, because I think what had happened for years was the protocol had took over, and it was almost like, I know we're royalty, but we don't actually do anything. We've got no power. It's all pageantry. And then when Diana died, the people started saying, you know what, we want you as our head of state, not actually because we don't trust the people in charge. They just run the place. We need a figure who can represent us as human beings, and you're not doing that. And that's when it all changed. And that's what you're seeing from the royal family now. Her kids, Diana's kids, are actually are actually the face of the next 100 years, and they're putting a face to it. Like William and Kate are like, they seem really sort of sociable. Harry's a fucking lunatic, but yeah, now you're seeing him and he's fucking sound. Like he started the Invictus Games. You know, anything you see him on, he's like, he's really real. Like obviously he had this mad spell where, again, hey, dressed up as a Nazi, had this mad spell, but now he's come out of it and it's like really human. I mean, obviously it's a worry because his dad obviously is not really royalty, is he? Actually with his dad, do what he wants. Big James there, and you're seeing that now. He's basically, you know, because I suppose because the pressure's off him in a way, because he's not the next in line, he's basically gone, well, you know what, I can go marry who I want, and I'm marrying someone who 50 years ago you would not, wouldn't, especially after what had happened with Edward, you know, giving up the crown because he was a Nazi and his missus was a Nazi. They were fucking Nazis. They were very, very sympathetic. They were very, very sympathetic.
He was a Hitler.
Well, she was as well.
Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace was a lot of Yanks were, a lot of the upper class Yanks then were fucking, again, full on with the Nazi regime. Comes back to Nazis. But they're the face now, and I think that people like that now. People have got back on board with it because there isn't a step up a lip of, there's a human element to it, and that all comes, as I said, when
But what's sorry to finish this, but in that, what it's really good at is showing that Prince Philip, who's quite a jokey character, you like look at him and go, no, but in that
he's very racist.
Greek, wasn't he? Just
no, Maltese.
He's Greek.
Oh, was he Greek originally?
And he changed things, but he was quite everything to do with the stay with the public. He hated all the stiff upper lip shit. He was like, he's the one who decided to film the coronation and all that, and they didn't want it. The hierarchy were like,
this is not for you.
They can't do that, and he was like, it is, because if you don't do that, these are gonna come and beat your door down. It's gonna be over. And he was that kind of thing. He hated
forward thinking.
Hated it, which was quite interesting because I just think racist knobhead. And I don't
think he's a racist knobhead in terms of like being a racist.
No, he's not racist.
He's a racist like your granddad's racist.
Yeah,
like it's just
the time, just the way it was.
My dog's
racist.
No, my dog's not racist. My dad's family had a dog called it was a black dog.
Okay, just leave it there.
No, I'm not going to say it, and it began with N. Right. But if you go and watch the Dam Busters, the dog in the Dam Busters has the same name. It is named.
Okay.
What? Yeah. Rappers shout at each other.
Why would you call a dog that?
Because the name didn't have a connotation. There was no connotation to it then.
Still a mad name.
I know, but there was no connotation. Yeah. That's what the name was for black.
I know,
so therefore, that's what they called it. So it's different times. It's how people evolve through the times. And you get periods of time where you have that flux bit and that's what we're living in now. We're living in a flux bit where no one knows what's up or down. It's the same with like not knowing, people having different representations of what they are. I think the only thing you have to take from that is that if we're in flux and I call you a man and you don't want to be called a man, I shouldn't be criticised because I didn't know that you didn't want to be called a man. You know, like you're in these school teachers who called the kid the girl, and the girls, he got the sack because of it. Well, don't get me wrong, if he's purposely going out of his way to go, no, you're a fucking girl, then that's a problem. But if he said, excuse me, ma'am, and she's gone, I'm non-gender, then he shouldn't be punished for that.
I saw someone saying, a girl saying, if you've got, you know, yeah, you want to identify as something else, but if you've got basically the girl bits, you are a girl. Right, you can change that, and that's great, but no, like, basically what you just said, if you're no one can say that that's wrong, because you're just identifying with what that is. That's not the person themselves, right, I'm becoming this now. That's fine, and they're entitled to do that and do whatever.
I suppose it's hard, because it's like, listen, I wouldn't say, if there was like a gay person here, I wouldn't go, you're a gay. I'd say you're a human being.
Of course,
but they're gay.
But that's a different. Yeah, but that's about sexuality. Your boys and girls, men and women, is men and women. Is men and women.
But that's what I'm saying now. You are if you're a man, you're a man, right? If you want to be called something else, that's your prerogative. But you're still a man in science,
of course,
right?
Yes, that's what I mean.
So if someone calls you a man and doesn't know you're those other things, then you're it's so hard.
If I come in and said I want to be known as Paula, right, or I want to be known as Jessica or whatever, right, and I say that to you a few times and you just go fuck off, you bars, and that's the end of it. I'm not accepting what you're saying. Then of course,
but that's different,
that's a thing,
because that's.
But I'm still until I change my body, get me knob chopped off or whatever, or alter myself.
No, that's what
I would still be even though I want to identify. But that's what I'm saying. As a woman.
Ultimately, what I'm saying is that nobody should be criticised for calling you a man,
like an honest mistake,
by accident.
Mistake,
if you look like a man and you know you smell like a man and you're scientifically a man, then you're a man. Until you tell me differently, and if you tell me differently, then I'll go, sound, you're not a man anymore. But don't fucking blame me.
But genetically, I would still be a man.
But don't blame me if I go, hiya mate, how you doing, sir? Blah blah blah. Don't blame me for doing that if I've never met you before. Do you know what I mean? But if someone comes along and it's like, no, you're not a man, you're a fucking man, you're a man. I don't give a fuck what you say. You're a man, because that's basically that's abuse then. But I can't get on board with all this. Like, no, I'm a zip. To me, you're a zip. I'm a zip. But you know, no one should be punished for just thinking. Because again, this goes back to the grid girl thing. Does that mean I have to come up to you? I don't know what your preference is, so I go,
are you a boy or a girl?
I walk up to you and go, hello, nondescript human being. You know, that can't be how we relate to each other. We have to relate to each other as the fundamentals. You know, I wouldn't walk up to you and go, you know, I wouldn't walk to you and define you as a religion or as a anything. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't though. It's the same principle. But I would just go, well, you just the basis I can relate to you as is that you're a bloke. Let's talk about Yorkshire pudding pizzas.
Well, I was going to go to sex dolls, but we'll go to...
I thought we were having a week off sex dolls.
Well, no, this one's a sex doll story, but it's just a bit different.
Go on.
Sex dolls won't stop rape and assault. That's not how sex and abuse works. Right, this was sent to us. Okay. So the only reason why I'm reading it, this story. Rachel Hewitt. The claim that sex dolls and robots provide safe outlets for men's sexual desires crops up frequently, but the evidence doesn't back it up.
Because in Japan, it's a big thing. Because in Japan, they've been given, and I think this is fucking, if you want to talk fucking sick and irresponsible, is they give sex children dolls. No, sorry, that come out wrong. They don't give children sex dolls. They give paedophiles sex dolls that are children to basically quell them, to just basically go, here you go. But that doesn't do anything.
Last week, owner of a Gateshead sex doll business offered customers a try before you buy service to test the doll in the Stark Industrial Unit, furnished with a double bed, turning the shop into the first sex doll brothel. Many of his customers are women who make purchases in a bid to keep their husbands from cheating. He also celebrated how sex dolls offer a safe way for men to explore voyeuristic fantasies in which no one was scared or hurt. The claim that sex dolls and robots provide safe outlet for men's desires, sexual desires, crops up frequently. Noel Sharkey, Professor of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics at the University of Sheffield, acknowledges that some people say it's better that men rape robots than rape real people. How about just not raping anyone?
Yeah. How about we become less rapey?
Shin Takagi, founder of the Japanese child sex dolls company.
I mean, I'll be honest, I wouldn't have that on my business card.
No. He says there's no way to change people's sexual desires, so if he makes sex dolls...
Oh, there is.
I mean, that to me is berserk. Now, obviously, this is a big story about that, but... just... It's difficult, isn't it, to say whether it would or it
but it's not, though, is it? Because all it's doing is giving them an alternative target and hoping that they're going to be happy with that alternative target, isn't it? That's all it is. It's not stopping them. Basically what you've done, what they've done there, or what he's saying there, is that we accept that being a paedophile is a sexual preference, and we instead of dealing with it, we are going to satisfy it. Now, I can understand what they're saying in a way, because if that's what I'm led to believe a lot of paedophiles feel in their brain, right? And I've heard this before, and I've heard it in like news shows and stuff, is that paedophiles, and some of them, and I'm pretty sure Jonathan King said this, is that he feels like there shouldn't be an age of consent, because I'm pretty sure he said this on TV, and I think Gary Glitter may have said this or similar, because he feels that those children have a choice and you're stopping that choice because he wants to have sex with those children. This is what he said, because that's his sexual desire. So there's gay, straight, bi, and he feels paedophile. But no, he wouldn't use that word. He feels it's a sexual preference, not distinguishing the fact that that's his sexual preference and not the child's sexual preference, because obviously they're a fucking child for a start. And that's how they think. So that's what this is basically doing, isn't it? It's basically saying, well, you're a man. You can have a sex doll, no problem. The only stigma is that you've got a sex doll, not that you're straight and you want to have sex with something. And that's what they're basically saying. They're basically saying, well, no, there shouldn't be a stigma. Why should there be a stigma? But yes, there should be a fucking stigma. But it's how we deal with that. It's what the consequences are of that. You know. Again, I can understand what they're doing, because what they're saying is, well, we can't lock him up for being a paedophile if he hasn't done anything. And if he does something, then he's going to hurt somebody. So this is the middle ground, I suppose. It's like, I suppose, like that film, isn't it, Minority Report? It's like, well, he hasn't murdered anyone yet, so how is it fair? And he's like, yeah, but are we going to wait for him to murder someone? Because then someone's been murdered. So it's, I suppose it's like the middle ground, but is it? I'm not the person to I can't make that judgment, can I? So, but it is weird that people are actually making money though off the back of pedos, because they are, aren't they? So there's that. So if I owned, put it this way, right? If I supplied videos for those people, I know I wouldn't be fucking just getting away with it. And I don't think it's not legal, is it? It's not legal to make. In fact, you can be locked up for a very long time for the. Well, not. Again, it's different, because if you make it, you are a pedo, aren't you? Because you're helping. But
just
get midgets.
Get back to Yorkshire.
Get midgets.
Move on.
But it's obviously facilitating paedophilia, isn't it? So therefore, how can that be right? But what? Yorkshire pudding pizzas, Waz?
Sounds disgusting.
Sounds disgusting, doesn't it?
I like Yorkshire pudding and I like pizza. Why would you put the two together?
Ice cream and I like pizza, but the same thing. I wouldn't put them together.
Ice cream on a pizza, would you?
Unless you're a tail. Where'd you fit? I mean, pineapple. Pineapple.
Listen, I've had it. It's not me preferred choice of topping. I've had it ham and pineapple. It's a bit weird. I like pineapple. I like ham.
But I like that.
You like
I like ham and pizza. I think it's nice. I remember being a kid.
Do you? Are you sure?
When it was not long ago. When the does not feel like that.
Doesn't feel like it. No.
When the Turtles are just coming out, and I remember they launched like a Turtles pizza, frozen pizza. Yeah. Wasn't it a shell? That would have been a bit tough. But there was an apple one. Apple.
No.
See, in Italy, we're not just exclusively in Italy.
Yeah.
But you can get like chocolate flavoured pasta, can't you? See, again, is that going over the line of acceptability?
To me, yeah. And if you say white chocolate pasta, you can just fuck off.
I don't know if they have white Twix.
White Twixes, white Twix.
Say it!
Buttes.
Are you going to say nonsense?
I wasn't nonsense. Yeah. White Twix.
I think, to be honest, I think these things...
I think it's a pizza. It's basically the topping inside the Yorkshire pudding.
Alright, but...
Isn't it?
Is it not just a publicity stunt? Because we see now people are finding...
talking about it.
Exactly. People are finding very creative ways. I've seen... we had the Greg's thing, didn't we, at Christmas? And now we're seeing... I think we've seen a Greg's Valentine's thing as well. So it's like a meal...
A big heart or something.
Meal for two. Sit in a Greg's, meal for two. And you get...
what? A freaking steak slice?
Yeah. You get like a steak slice, a sausage roll, a cake and a drink. And it's like... But it's just publicity, isn't it? And I think... What was the one I've seen today? Oh, McDonald's are doing like McDonald's are doing a Valentine's thing as well. But it's just publicity, isn't it? Because we live in a world now where, and this will lead me on to next thing, we live in a world where it's very hard to shout, get above the shouting, sort of get above the parapets. Everyone's shouting at the same time. Everyone wants your business. 1 minute the world's great, the next minute it's gone tits up. If you've got shares, that will be very prevalent, because in the last 2 days we've had the worst fucking drop in share prices for fucking ever. And so if you've got a pension, oh, guess what? You're not getting it till you're 75, and it's fucked. Even though Trump said it's going to be great, we've got the best share prices in the world, they've just gone like that. So that shows you how quickly the world can change, and everyone's trying to get a foothold. And we all love quirky stories. We all love... Some of us have shows that rely on quirky stories, but we wouldn't have a show if there wasn't so fucking many. And because there's so many get lost in the noise, that we are bringing the best ones to the surface. And we know there's other shows out there that do that, and everyone loves a good stupid story.
So go on, finish off with a good...
Well, I was just going to know about the Super Bowl. Obviously Super Bowl weekend. I'm not massively into American football, but I generally always watch the Super Bowl because I like... the pomp and ceremony. If America ever did pomp and ceremony, it was Super Bowl. I'll tell you what I don't like, and I don't like about American sports, full stop, when they fucking roll out the military. Every fucking thing they do. And this is not... I'm not down on the military yet. I understand why we have them. But will you fuck off?
They always do it.
No. But they do it for everything, right? And we've got a good friend who's in the American military, and he feels the same as well about it. The military actually pay. It's an advertisement. It's an advertisement for the military to show, guys, it's great. Like, there's only been apparently like 20 years of America's history that they've not been fighting wars, so they've got loads to choose from. But I do find it fucking so sycophantic that they just roll out. People are, thank you for our servicemen. Where are the fucking nurses and the doctors? Oh no, sorry, it's not a public thing, it's private. So we don't need to get them, because they get paid to do what they do anyway. Well, ours get paid, but we still fucking look after them. Well, we do. The people do. The fucking other cunts don't. What about getting the fire service? They don't even seem to roll out the fire service when there's been a big fucking 9/11 or something, or the police. It's always the fuck. That winds me up. But you know, you have the fucking the old song. Pink did it, though, she was very well. Although 2 seconds before she started, she had something a lozenge because she'd been very ill and spat it out, and a few people were like, "Oh, disrespectful." Like, but she sung it really well. Justin Timberlake did the half time. It was shit. The sound was shit. It started in this little room, and they made it look like a club. And then he walked out and went onto the pit, like went down to the pitch. But there's 2 things actually I thought was really funny about this. He was on the thing, and there was a kid, and the kid had got a selfie, and he's standing next to him. And for the rest of the fella, Justin Timberlake standing next to this kid for about fucking 2-3 minutes in telly. And this shows you what the world is. The kid got a selfie with him, and for the next fucking whole of the thing is not paying any attention. It's just trying to get this picture online. So he's not living in the moment of being there. And there's a fella behind him who's got 2 phones. And people are like, now want to track this fella down, see why he had 2 phones and why. And there's just so many people. And we're all guilty, of course we are, but how often is that going to happen to you? And no one was in the moment. They're all get the picture, which I just thought was a bit shit. And then he went down and done the performance, and it was in Minneapolis, where Prince's hometown. So they did this big thing with like a big white sheet, and it all went purple, and they got him singing alongside them, and outside it all went purple. It was brilliant, and the Prince sign lighted up on this like big area, and that was good. But the sound was shit. But then someone done a video of it from like the stadium, so we're all seeing the pictures, and Justin Timberlake's got this big crowd ahead of him. But when you went back, no one in the stadium was interested, and all it is this bit on the pitch with Justin Timberlake's on a stage singing with this crowd, which is all going mad. This renter crowd, and this stadium was just like, sound half time, I'm having a drink. So TV looks like, it's amazing. But you take the step back, and it's just like this little segment. So I thought that was good. The game was good, but I always watch the trailers and stuff. I'm always there for the trailers and the adverts and see the trailers and stuff. So again, paying millions of pounds to be heard, because the Super Bowl is, I think Super Bowl has had the 20 top TV ratings of all time, bar one in the top 20. Do you know what that was?
Just in America.
Top 20, I think.
In America.
Yeah, number 13 or something is not
Super Bowl related.
It's not Super Bowl.
Royal Wedding.
No.
Probably 9/11, something like that.
The MASH finale.
Really?
Yes.
What?
MASH. Of all things. That was it. Well, some people know what MASH is, some people won't. Yeah. That was there. So advertisements, it's huge. Like, and there was some good adverts. There was this one with Peter Dinklage, who's in Game of Thrones, doing like a lip syncing thing, and then Morgan Freeman done it as well. So that was really good. And there was some good ones. There was one there was Alexa gets a sore throat, and it's who's replacing him, and the fella's like, Alexa, get me the recipe for a grilled cheese toastie, and Gordon Ramsay's like, you're 34, man, and you don't know how to make a grilled cheese. That was alright as well, and the trailers were good. So yeah, it's all good.
I thought you were going to say it was Keith Winers.
No, don't know.
Did you see that?
I've seen it, yeah.
The Aston Villa, the Lewis Grabban thing?
Yeah.
Alexa, who does Lewis Grabban play for?
Not bad.
Bournemouth, are you sure? Oh, Lewis Grabban is a forward for Aston Villa.
Fair enough.
That was it.
Fair enough.
Worst thing ever.
No, it's good. So.
Oh yeah, there you go.
New Avengers trailer looks good.
You're loving it, mate. Yeah, Solo.
Westworld. Oh, Westworld looks amazing. If you haven't watched Westworld, go and watch it before the second series starts. It's amazing. And Solo it looks alright. Looks okay. There was a teaser trailer, and then the next day there was a full trailer, but it wasn't any longer than the teaser trailer, so it's still a bit like, what is this? I know it's Han Solo, but we'll wait and see. The jury's out on that one, but it was good, and it was good. It was good Super Bowl as well. It was dead exciting. The Eagles won, who are like the forever underdogs, never win, and they beat the Patrons, who are basically the Nazis of American football.
They're us again.
They are though. They are. They're the poster boys for the alt-right. They all love Tom Brady because he's like Yeah, he's like the clan, high grand wizard for the clan, and they got beat, and it was fantastic, and it gave you hope. It gave you hope that the underdog might have its day. And then
hope was never Evertonian.
And then the Philly fans went out and smashed Philadelphia up, which was really interesting as well.
As you do.
I mean, listen, if Everton never won anything,
what, you go and smash
God
Liverpool
help the city.
You wouldn't smash Liverpool up, would you? You'd just be happy to.
No, I'd just be happy, but God help Liverpool. People would be on the streets.
Oh, be good.
That's about it, isn't it? I think. That's it. That's been any other business for this week. Action packed, as always. Serious stuff, funny stuff, Nazi stuff. That's the way we roll. And a sex robot story for Baz. Keeping it real. We'll see you later.
We didn't talk about Dele Alli's cock.